The church bells tolled like a death knell as Pablo stood at the altar, his tuxedo feeling like a straitjacket. His bride-to-be, Emily, walked down the aisle with a radiant smile, oblivious to the storm raging inside him. But when his eyes scanned the pews and locked onto Ben, his college love, the man who'd shattered his world 5 years ago, invited by his own mother, Pablo's heart plummeted into freefall. He hadn't seen Ben since that rainy night in Boston, when Pablo had chosen family over love, slamming the door on their future. Now here Ben was, sitting in the third row, his sharp jawline and piercing blue eyes unchanged, stirring up memories Pablo had buried deep. His mother, Margaret, caught his gaze and offered a smug nod, as if this was her twisted way of testing his commitment. Pablo's palms sweated. The vows he was about to recite felt like lies etched in stone. As the ceremony began, the priest's words blurred into white noise. Pablo's mind raced back to their freshman year at Harvard, where he and Ben had met in a literature class. Ben, the outspoken activist from California, with his effortless charm and unyielding passion for social justice. Pablo, the closeted son of a conservative Texas oil tycoon who'd relocated the family to New York for business. Their connection was electric, late-night debates turning into stolen kisses in dorm rooms, whispered promises under the stars on the Charles River. But reality crashed in when Pablo's father, Robert, discovered a text message. The confrontation was brutal. "No son of mine will disgrace this family with that filth." Threats of disinheritance, expulsion from the family business, and worse, outing him to their tight-knit social circle. Pablo caved, breaking things off with Ben in a tear-soaked argument. "I can't do this," he'd said, his voice cracking. "My family, they'll destroy me." Ben's face had twisted in betrayal. "So you're choosing them over us? Over yourself?" Years passed. Pablo threw himself into the family oil empire, dating women to maintain the facade. Emily, a kind-hearted marketing executive from a similar upscale background, seemed perfect on paper. Their engagement was announced in the New York Times, a union of two prominent families. But every night, Pablo lay awake, haunted by what-ifs. Therapy sessions helped him suppress the truth, but it festered like an open wound. Now, at the wedding, Ben's presence was a grenade. During the exchange of rings, Pablo's hand trembled. Emily noticed, squeezing his fingers reassuringly. "You okay?" she whispered. He nodded, but his eyes flicked back to Ben, who looked away, jaw clenched. Margaret, from the front row, beamed with pride, unaware, or perhaps fully aware, of the chaos she'd unleashed. The reception hall buzzed with laughter and clinking glasses. Pablo and Emily cut the cake, posing for photos, but his smile was plastic. When the toasts began, his best man, Jake, raised a glass to their perfect match. Then Margaret stood, microphone in hand. "I'm so proud of my boy," she said, her voice syrupy, "and I'm thrilled to have old friends here to celebrate." Her eyes darted to Ben, who shifted uncomfortably. Pablo's blood boiled. How dare she? Inviting Ben wasn't innocent. It was a power play, a reminder of the phase she'd dismissed years ago. She'd found out about them through a mutual friend and had lectured Pablo endlessly. "It's just confusion, darling. You'll grow out of it." But she never let it go, always probing, always judging. As the dancing started, Pablo excused himself to the balcony for air. The city lights of Manhattan twinkled below, a stark contrast to his turmoil. Footsteps approached. "Ben." "Pablo," he said softly, his voice a ghost from the past. "Congratulations. Why are you here?" Pablo hissed, spinning around. "Did she put you up to this?" Ben sighed, leaning on the railing. "Your mom called me last month. Said she wanted to make amends, invite me as a friend of the family. I almost said no, but I needed closure." Closure. The word stung. "You broke me," Pablo whispered. "No, I broke us. But you walked away." Ben's eyes softened. "I didn't walk. You pushed. And now you're marrying her? Does she know?" Pablo's silence was damning. The weight of his deception crushed him. Back inside, Emily pulled him onto the dance floor, her laughter light. But Pablo's mind was elsewhere, replaying Ben's words. The first crack in his facade appeared. That night, in their honeymoon suite, Emily sensed the distance. "What's wrong, Pablo? You've been off all day." He hesitated, the truth bubbling up. But he swallowed it down. "Just nerves. I love you." The lie tasted like ash. Days turned into weeks. Their honeymoon in Hawaii was a blur of beaches and forced intimacy. Pablo performed his role, but guilt gnawed at him. Ben's reappearance had reopened the floodgates. Memories of genuine passion versus the scripted life. Back in New York, work at the oil firm provided distraction. Robert clapped him on the back. "Proud of you, son. Settling down like a real man." The words twisted like a knife. One evening, Pablo found an old photo album in the attic. Pictures of him and Ben at Pride events hidden away. Tears came unbidden. He realized the cost. A life of suppression, denying his identity for approval. He texted Ben, "We need to talk." They met at a quiet cafe in Brooklyn. Ben looked wary. "What is this, Pablo?" "I can't keep pretending," Pablo admitted. "Seeing you, it reminded me who I am." Ben leaned forward. "And who is that?" "The guy who chose fear over love." The accusation hurt, but it was true. "I was scared. Still am. But Emily deserves the truth." Ben nodded slowly. "So do you. But think about the fallout. Your family, your job." Pablo knew the risks. Disownment, social ostracism. But the alternative, a lifetime of lies, was worse. That night he sat Emily down. "There's something I need to tell you." Her face paled as he confessed his sexuality. The past with Ben. The facade. Tears streamed down her cheeks. "How could you?" she sobbed. "We built a life together." "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I thought I could change." She left that night, the ring on the table. The next day, news spread like wildfire. Friends called, shocked. Margaret arrived furious. "What have you done? You've ruined everything." Pablo stood his ground. "No, Mom. You did by inviting Ben. You forced me to face it." The confrontation escalated. Robert cut him off financially. "You're no longer my son," he declared over the phone. Alone in his apartment, Pablo felt the weight of his choices. But for the first time, he breathed freely. The fallout was swift and merciless. Emily's family, influential in New York's social scene, spread whispers of betrayal. Pablo's phone buzzed with messages. Some supportive, most condemning. "How could you deceive her like that?" One read from a mutual friend. He didn't respond. The shame was paralyzing. At work, colleagues avoided his gaze. Robert had already informed the board. Pablo was out. Personal issues incompatible with company values. The email stated. Values code for heteronormative conformity in the oil industry. He cleared his desk under security escort, the humiliation burning. Ben reached out. "You okay?" They met again, this time in Central Park. Autumn leaves crunched underfoot as they walked. "I didn't expect you to blow it all up," Ben said. "Neither did I," Pablo admitted. "But lying was killing me." Ben stopped, facing him. "What now?" Pablo shrugged. "Rebuild. Find myself." Their conversations deepened. Ben shared his life post-breakup. Activism work with LGBTQ+ organizations in San Francisco. A brief relationship that ended amicably. "I never stopped thinking about you," he confessed. Pablo's heart raced. Was there a second chance? But doubt crept in. "I hurt you badly. Why give me another shot?" "Because I see the man you could be," Ben replied. "Free from their chains." Margaret wasn't done. She showed up at his apartment, eyes red from crying. "How could you do this to us? To your father? To you?" Pablo retorted. "This is my life, Mom. You invited Ben to test me. Didn't you?" She faltered. "I thought, if you saw him, you'd realize it was just a phase. That you'd commit to Emily." The admission floored him. "You manipulated my wedding? For what? To prove I'm straight." Tears welled in her eyes. "I wanted what's best. Our family. Society expects. Society. Pablo exploded. Screw society. I've lost everything because of expectations. The argument raged. Margaret defended her actions. I raised you in a world where this choice leads to pain. I was protecting you. Choice. He laughed bitterly. It's not a choice, Mom. It's who I am. She left in silence, the door clicking shut like a final judgment. Isolation set in. Friends distanced themselves, fearing association with the scandal. Pablo attended therapy, unpacking years of internalized homophobia. You sacrificed your authenticity for approval, the therapist said. Now reclaim it. He volunteered at a local LGBTQ+ center, meeting others with similar stories. One, a young man named Carlos, shared his coming-out horror, disowned by religious parents. But I found a new family, Carlos said. It inspired Pablo. Ben invited him to a rally against anti-LGBTQ+ legislation. Standing amid the crowd, signs waving, Pablo felt alive. Chanting for equality, their hands brushed. A spark. Afterward, over coffee, Ben asked, "Ready to try again?" Pablo hesitated. "I'm still raw. Emily. She hates me." "Give her time," Ben advised. "You both need healing." Emily contacted him weeks later. They met at a neutral park bench. "I don't forgive you yet," she said, voice steady. "But I understand. You were trapped." Tears pricked Pablo's eyes. "I never meant to hurt you." "I know." She hugged him briefly. "Be happy, Pablo. Truly." The closure lifted a burden. But family wounds festered. Robert refused calls. Margaret sent guilt-tripping texts. "Your father's health is declining because of this stress." Guilt gnawed. Was his truth worth their pain? He visited home unannounced. The mansion loomed, a symbol of his old life. Robert answered the door, face gaunt. "What do you want?" "To talk," Pablo said. Inside, tension thickened. "You've shamed us," Robert growled. Pablo met his gaze. "Shamed you? Or challenged your bigotry?" Margaret intervened. "Please, let's not fight." But fight they did. Pablo laid bare the years of pressure. "You forced me into a mold that didn't fit. I almost married a woman I didn't love because of you." Robert's facade cracked. "I thought I was guiding you right. The world is cruel to people like you." "Like me," Pablo pressed. "Say it, Dad. Gay." The word hung heavy. Robert sighed. "I don't understand it. But seeing you now, you're standing tall." A tentative truce formed. No full acceptance, but a start. "Give me time," Robert said. Pablo left with hope. Back in the city, he and Ben grew closer. Dates, movies, walks rekindled old flames. But shadows lingered. Ben's friends warned. He bailed once, he might again. Pablo proved his commitment by coming out publicly in a blog post. "My Journey to Authenticity," it titled. Shares poured in, some hateful, most supportive. One night, Ben confessed, "I'm scared you'll choose safety over us again." "I won't," Pablo vowed. "I've paid the price." Their first kiss in years sealed it, passionate, real. But drama escalated when Margaret meddled again. She called Ben. "Stay away from my son. He's confused." Ben told Pablo, furious. "She's trying to sabotage us." Pablo confronted her. "Why can't you let me be happy?" "Because I fear for you," she admitted. "Society judges." "Then fight with me," Pablo urged. "Not against." She paused, considering. "Maybe. I can try." Progress was slow. Family dinners were awkward, but present. Robert asked questions, clumsy but genuine. Pablo landed a job at a progressive energy firm, aligning with his values. Life rebuilt piece by piece. Yet, doubts persisted. Had he destroyed too much? Emily moved on, engaged to someone new. Pablo sent congratulations, bittersweet. One evening, Ben proposed a trip. San Francisco. Start fresh. Pablo agreed, excited. But en route, a call from Margaret. "Your father's had a heart attack." Rushing to the hospital, Pablo found Robert frail. Son, he whispered. I'm sorry. Tears flowed. Me too, Dad. Recovery brought reflection. Robert admitted, I was wrong. Love is love. The words healed old scars. With family mending, Pablo and Ben thrived. But society tested them. A hate crime in the news reminded Pablo of vulnerabilities. At a support group, he shared, coming out cost me everything, and gave me more. Nods around the room. He realized the price was worth it. As bonds strengthened, new conflicts arose. Ben's activism pulled him into high-stakes protests. One evening, he returned bruised from a clash with counter-protesters. It's nothing, he said, but Pablo worried. You're risking your life, Pablo argued. For what? For us, Ben countered. For every kid like we were. The tension highlighted differences. Pablo craved stability after upheaval. Ben thrived on change. A major bill threatened LGBTQ+ rights in several states. Ben organized a march in D.C. Come with me, he urged. Pablo hesitated. Work. Family. Ben's eyes narrowed. Still choosing safe? Stung, Pablo went. The march was empowering thousands united. But violence erupted. Police clashed with agitators. Pablo shielded Ben from a flying bottle, earning a gash on his arm. In the hotel afterward, Ben bandaged him. You didn't have to. Yes, I did, Pablo said. I'm all in. Their relationship deepened, but family pressures resurfaced. Margaret invited them to Thanksgiving. A chance to bond, she said. Pablo was skeptical. Dad's okay with this? He's trying. The dinner was tense. Robert asked about Ben's work. Awkwardly. Fighting for rights, huh? Ben explained patiently. But when politics arose, sparks flew. A cousin, conservative, sneered. It's unnatural. Pablo defended. Love isn't politics. The argument divided the table. Margaret mediated, but damage done. Driving home, Ben fumed. Your family tolerates us at best. They're evolving, Pablo pleaded. But doubt seeded. Was integration possible? Emily's wedding invitation arrived, a twist of fate. Bring Ben, it noted graciously. At the event, Pablo felt surreal. Emily glowed, hugging him. I'm happy for you too. Closure complete. Back home, Pablo faced a career crossroads. His new firm offered a promotion, but it required relocating to Texas, conservative heartland. Texas? Ben balked. After everything? It's a step up, Pablo argued. We could make a difference there. Debate raged. Ben feared regression. You'll hide again. I won't, Pablo insisted. But inwardly he questioned. He declined the offer, choosing Ben. You're my priority. Gratitude shone in Ben's eyes. Society's bite came via online harassment after Pablo's blog went viral. Trolls doxed him, threats arrived. Ben comforted. We'll fight back. They filed reports, joined advocacy groups. Strength in unity. Margaret surprised them by attending a pride event. I'm learning, she said, wearing a rainbow pin. Robert followed, slowly. A family therapy session revealed deep-seated fears. I worried you'd suffer like my brother did, ostracized in the 70s. Uncle's story humanized Robert's bias. He hid, and it destroyed him. Pablo empathized. I almost did too. Bridges built. But betrayal struck from unexpected quarters. Jake, Pablo's best man, leaked private emails to tabloids, jealous of lost friendship. Headlines screamed, Oil heirs gay scandal. Deception and heartbreak. Pablo confronted Jake. Why? You abandoned us for him, Jake spat. Changed everything. The sting of lost trust hurt. Ben supported. True friends stay. Media frenzy ensued. Interviews requested. Pablo declined most, but one podcast allowed vulnerability. My story is about choices, the wrong ones I made, and the right one to live authentically. Listeners resonated, support surged. The cost? Privacy invaded. Stalkers appeared. They moved to a secure building. Through turmoil, Pablo and Ben's love solidified. Anniversaries celebrated quietly. Yet moral dilemmas arose. A mentee at the center, teen Liam, faced parental rejection. Pablo advised caution. Weigh the risks. Ben disagreed. Truth sets free. Their debate mirrored past. Safety versus authenticity. Liam came out, got kicked out. Pablo housed him temporarily. See? The price is high. But worth it, Liam said later, thriving. Perspective shifted. Family fully embraced when Robert funded an LGBTQ+ scholarship in Pablo's name. Making amends. Thanksgiving redux. Harmonious. Laughs shared. Pablo proposed to Ben on a Boston bridge, their old spot. Will you? Tears. Yes. Planning the wedding stirred old fears. What if history repeats? Ben, it won't. We're stronger. Invitations sent. Margaret helped, excited. But a health scare. Ben diagnosed with early-stage lymphoma from protest stress? Tests loomed. Anxiety peaked. I can't lose you, Pablo whispered. Treatment planned. Support rallied. Through chemo, Pablo nursed him. Roles reversed. Ben vulnerable. I pushed too hard, Ben admitted. Activism consumed me. Balance found. Recovery brought clarity. Wedding proceeded, intimate. Vows exchanged. Through every storm. Honeymoon in Europe, healing. Back, they advocated together moderately. Life stabilized, but reflections on sacrifices lingered. Had the pain been necessary? Pablo pondered. Stability proved illusory. Ben's remission was short-lived. A relapse hit hard. Doctors adjusted treatments, but side effects ravaged him: nausea, fatigue. Pablo took leave, caregiving full-time. We'll beat this, he promised. But doubt crept. Was this karma for his past deceptions? Margaret stepped up, cooking meals, offering respite. I see how much you love him, she said softly. Robert visited. Awkward but sincere. Anything you need, son. Community rallied, fundraisers, visits. One night, Ben weak. If I don't make it. Don't, Pablo interrupted. You will. The ordeal tested their bond. Arguments flared over small things, stress bubbling. Therapy helped. Grief manifests in anger. Pablo confronted his fears. Abandonment. Loss. Ben recovered slowly but changed, more introspective. Post-treatment, they reevaluated. Less activism, more us, Ben suggested. Pablo agreed. They moved to a quieter suburb, balancing city access. New challenges. Adoption discussions. A family? Pablo mused. Ben enthusiastic. Why not? But societal barriers. Same-sex couples faced scrutiny. Applications filed. Interviews grueling. Stable home? One asked skeptically. They proved it. A baby boy, Ethan, joined them. Joy immense, but exhaustion followed. Parenting amplified conflicts. Ben's leniency versus Pablo's structure. Like my parents, Pablo realized, breaking cycles. Family integrated. Grandparents doted on Ethan. But external pressures. School bullies targeted Ethan for 2 dads. Pablo furious, advocating at PDA. Teach acceptance. Change slow but progress. Moral quandaries deepened. A friend, closeted, sought advice. Should I come out? Risk job. Pablo, weigh costs. Ben, live true. Friend chose out. Lost job but gained freedom. Inspired, Pablo wrote a book, Broken Vows. A journey through deception and truth. Bestseller. Tours followed. Fame brought scrutiny. Old flames resurfaced. A college fling contacted, stirring jealousy. Who's this? Ben asked, seeing messages. Nothing, Pablo assured. But transparency key. Just reminiscing. Trust reaffirmed. Society evolved. Laws passed protecting rights. But backlash. Protests against their visibility. A debate invite. Pablo versus conservative pundit. On air, your lifestyle corrupts families. Pablo countered. Love strengthens them. Viewers divided. Hate mail surged. Protection needed. Bodyguards briefly. Cost. Paranoia. Ethan asked, "Why do people hate us?" Heartbreaking explanation. Fear of different. Vowed to shield him. Anniversary trip. Hawaii. Echoing honeymoon irony. Reflections. "We've paid dearly," Pablo said. "But gained more," Ben replied. Home. A family crisis. Margaret's cancer diagnosis. Roles reversed. Pablo supported her. Regrets? She asked. None, he lied slightly. But truth. Growth from pain. Treatment successful. Bonds tighter. Ethan's teen years loomed. Prepared for questions. Pablo mentored more youth, paying forward. One case. A boy disowned. Pablo intervened legally. Victory. Reunited. But exhaustion. Am I doing enough? Ben. You're enough. Balance sought. A betrayal. Ben's old colleague leaked activist secrets, endangering lives. Investigation. Trust shattered. Why? Ben confronted. Jealousy. The answer. Forgiveness hard. Therapy aided. Rebuilt. Society's mirror. Election year. Anti-LGBTQ rhetoric rose. They campaigned voting drives. Win. Progressives triumphed. Celebration. But personal toll. Pablo's health faltered. Stress-induced hypertension. Medicated. Lifestyle changes. See? The price never ends. He joked darkly. Ben. Worth every penny. Ethan graduated. Proud moment. Speech. My dad's taught me resilience. Tears. Looking back, Pablo marveled at the journey. From deception to authenticity. Conflicts resolved, but echoes remained. Was the initial revelation at the wedding the catalyst for all this? Or a reckless act? Years blurred into decades. Ethan, now adult, pursued law, advocating for marginalized. Pablo and Ben, in their 50s, retired partially, consulting on LGBTQ+ issues. But age brought vulnerabilities. Ben's cancer returned, aggressive. Treatments grueling. Pablo by his side. Promise you'll move on if. Ben whispered. Never, Pablo vowed. Community support immense. Fundraisers global. Remission again but frail. They traveled bucket list Paris, Tokyo. Memories made. Home. A memoir co-written. 2 lives entwined. Bestseller. Film rights sold. Hollywood dramatized. Consultations ensured accuracy. Premiere. Emotional. Society shifted. Marriage equality nationwide. Acceptance growing. But pockets of hate persisted. A threat. Extremist group targeted them. Relocated temporarily. FBI involved. Fear reignited old traumas. Why us? Pablo raged. Visibility, Ben said. We represent change. Resolved stronger. Ethan's wedding. To a woman, supportive. Pablo walked him down aisle, surreal. Toast. Love knows no bounds. Margaret, elderly, attended. Full circle. Robert, past years prior. Reconciled. Legacy. Foundation established. Aiding queer youth. Moral debates in interviews. Was outing myself publicly right? Absolutely, Pablo affirmed. Silence enables oppression. Critics argued. You hurt innocence. Emily, family. Counter. Truth heals eventually. Personal reflection. Sacrifices, lost friends. Career pivots. Health scares. Gains. Love. Family. Impact. Ben's health stabilized. Golden years enjoyed. Grandchildren via Ethan, joy. Teaching them acceptance. One evening. Stargazing. Regrets? Ben asked. Few, Pablo said. Mostly gratitude. But a final conflict. Ben's will reveal donations to radical causes. Pablo disagreed. Too risky. Debate. Change requires boldness. Compromised. Ben's passing came peacefully in sleep. Grief consumed Pablo. Funeral. Tributes poured. Eulogy. He taught me to live true. Alone, Pablo navigated loss. Therapy, support groups. Ethan, Dad, lean on us. Rebuilt life. Volunteering, writing. A new love? No. Ben irreplaceable. But companionship, friends. Reflection deepened. Choices ripples. Had inviting Ben to the wedding been Margaret's unwitting gift? Or curse? Society's evolution. Pride parades massive, laws protective. Pablo marched, honoring Ben. A young couple approached. Your story inspired us. Purpose found. Book tour. Sharing wisdom. Q&A. How to face family rejection. With love and boundaries. Impact measured in lives touched. Twilight Years. Memoir sequel. Title, The Cost of Truth. In it, he pondered ethics. Deception versus authenticity. Conclusion. The price is high, but freedom priceless. Health declined, hospital stays. Family by bedside. No regrets, he whispered. Passing, peaceful. Legacy endured. Ethan carried torch. The story circled back. From shock to awakening. The narrative of Pablo's life became a beacon for many. Studied in classrooms, discussed in forums. Ethan founded a nonprofit in their names, aiding queer families navigating societal minefields. But questions lingered in public discourse. Was Pablo's dramatic coming out at his wedding a heroic stand or a selfish implosion? Did the ends, personal freedom, family reconciliation, societal impact, justify the means? The heartbreak inflicted on Emily, the strain on his parents, the collateral damage to friendships? Critics labeled it reckless, arguing private truths should unfold discreetly, sparing innocence public humiliation. Supporters hailed it as catalytic, a necessary rupture to dismantle facades of conformity. In Ethan's speeches, he posed, "My father's choice sparked debate. Did he pay too high a price? Or was it the only way to authenticity?" The answer divided audiences, fueling endless discussions on ethics, identity, and the human cost of truth. Years on, the story evolved into legend, inspiring art, plays, documentaries. Ben and Pablo's love, forged in fire, symbolized resilience. Ethan, reflecting on his upbringing, wrote, "Their decisions, fraught with pain, gifted me a world of openness. Grandchildren grew, asking stories. Tell us about Grandpa Ben. Tales of love, loss, triumph. Society progressed further. Discrimination outlawed, acceptance normalized. But echoes of struggle reminded, progress fragile. In a final twist, Margaret's diaries revealed her internal battle, from denial to advocacy. Published posthumously, they humanized her journey. I invited Ben to save my son from himself. Instead, he saved us all. Readers debated her intentions. Manipulative or misguided love. The cycle continued. Choices dissected. Lessons learned. Pablo and Ben's graveside, side by side, bore a shared epitaph. Lived truly, loved fiercely. Visitors left tokens, rainbow flags, notes of thanks. One note, your story gave me courage to choose truth. The legacy, not just survival but transformation. As time marched, new generations faced similar crossroads. Family pressures, societal norms, inner conflicts. The tale served as mirror. What price for authenticity? In online forums, threads buzzed. Pablo's mic moment? Right or wrong? Arguments passionate. Right, because suppression destroys. Wrong, timing hurt others. No consensus, but dialogue opened. Ethan's final book, Echoes of Choice. In it, he concluded, my father's lives pose an eternal question. In the pursuit of self, how much collateral damage is acceptable? Readers pondered. The story, rich in drama, ended not with resolution, but invitation to reflect. Was Pablo's revelation at the wedding the right choice? Or should he have endured the lie for the sake of others?